Hey everyone, welcome to the Movie Throne. I'm your host, the one and only King freaking Kansas, here to bring you another movie review your way. And as you guys can see, probably by the thumbnail, I'm tackling a little movie called London Fields. Came out in 2018. It stars Billy Bob Thornton, Jason Isaacs, Theo James, Amber Heard, Cara Delevinge, Gemma Chan, Jamie Alexander, and Jim Sturgess, guys. It's about an hour and 58 minutes long. I want to say it's rated 14A, so don't let your little kiddies watch this. Going to this, I saw the trailer. It looked like some sort of like crime, drama, suspense thriller, I want to say, but not quite. So it intrigued me. So I decided, you know what? For the amount of money I'm going to buy it, I might as well watch it. So I did so. So going into this, I went in blind. I'm like, okay, with that trailer in my mind, I go, let's see what kind of movie. What are my expectations going in? I can honestly tell you guys, I expected this to be a lot more racier and sexier and all that crazy stuff that, little kids shouldn't be watching. But it was kind of like toned down and done in a respectful way, I want to say. The storyline, the plot, how we get introduced to, I guess, the main character who's like an author who ends up showing up in London. He meets up with all these characters like Keith, Nicola Six, which is Amber Heard, and I think Gary, which is Theo James' character. It was like three guys involved. The way we get introduced to him, he brings them in kind of to show him this is where the author who you're coming to stay's place is, and it's in the middle of like a rundown area of London. A lot of interesting characters and stuff like that. Things ain't going to be good there. So he's there. He's trying to write a novel from what I gather, right? And he's trying to figure out, he's stuck. So he meets Nicola, Amber Heard's character. And that's where things start to get interesting. She ends up like tossing out some books in a garbage. And she kind of finds out that she can kind of see her future. Like, people dying in her life. And she hasn't had the best thing. So he's intrigued by her. So he kind of gets interested and involved in her life. And he says, you know what? If you know who's going to kill you, then I want to be a part of it so I can write this book. And she weirdly agrees to it. And that's where the journey takes place. It keeps on going. She meets these other characters that Billy Bob Thornton knows. And slowly but surely, she gets involved with them personally and, criminally and stuff like that. Like doing things that she shouldn't be doing, but money's involved, and she kind of plays one guy against the other. It's your typical love triangle, and at the same time, the guy who's supposed to be the good old, Billy Bob Thornton, the author who's not going to get involved, ends up getting involved. And I'm telling you right now, right to the end, the last 10 minutes of the movie were very interesting. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't see that coming. There's a couple of curveballs. So she's trying to narrow it down. Well, the author and her are trying to narrow down who's going to be. Is it going to be Theo James' character, or it's going to be this Keith guy who's kind of like a bum, not too good guy. He's married to Cara Delevingne's character. Theo James is married to Jamie Alexander's. They're kind of like rich things. They wanted to have a kid. They have a kid, and he's not happy with his life. So he's kind of like cheating on her with Amber Heard, and she's going to use him for other reasons. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of that nonsense back and forth, but it all works well. It's not one of those movies that are going to be like, oh my God, it's going to blow your mind away. You can kind of see where this is going to lead up to, except for the curveball. The beginning starts where the end, I guess, begins, if you want to say that. Billy Bob says this is based on a true story, blah, blah, blah. So we end up going to that scene that there's a car with the window smashed. You go inside it, and you notice that someone's dead. So obviously, you're thinking Amber Heard killed somebody, but it wasn't the case. The three guys were fighting over her. Who's going to be with her and who's more angry at her, and they start beating the crap out of it. So Theo James' character, spoiler alert, ends up taking out this Keith character, leaves him in the car. Billy Bob Thornton comes across all this, so he tries to help him out with this thing. So he tells him to kind of leave, but Billy Bob, I don't know, Billy Bob, whatever, he ends up getting in the car, and then who shows up? Amber Heard's character comes, Nicola Six. She ain't strutting in there. She gets in the car, guys, and I swear to God, I thought they were going to have a little conversation, and all of a sudden, he hits her. And then he hits her again, and I'm telling you, off camera, he ends up killing her in the car brutally. So he ends up going back to the hotel room, carries her body there, lies on the bed with her, and kind of explains that, you know what, this is how things were supposed to be, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, it kind of like brings Isaac, let me get his name right, because I was, Jason's Isaac character, because he's the author of the guy who supposedly was dead, but he ain't dead. It was him writing it all along. Tommy Lee Jones was just another character in his story. So then he ends up coming through. He leaves the two lying in the thing there, and that's pretty much it. Then he goes to a book tour and he starts talking to, I think it was Gemma Chan, was the reporter who was interviewing him. Said, "This is not your typical kind of books there. What made you change?" And he kind of like explains himself, and that's how the movie ends. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He was just a character, and I'm thinking this guy is the guy who's trying to figure this out, and he's kind of like explaining things, but kind of like living in the moment with these characters that he so-called created, but he didn't create them. Isaac created it, for God's sakes. And I'm telling you, it was one of those, what the hell? But I enjoyed it. It was good. But yeah, so overall thoughts, liked it. Would I recommend you guys telling to watch it? I would say give it a try. If you're an Amber Heard fan or Billy Bob Thornton or any of the other actors that I mentioned during this review, check it out for yourselves. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but don't let your kids watch it. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it clean and keep it at that. So there you go, guys. That's my official movie review on London Fields. I hope you guys liked it. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other reviews, podcast episodes, you name it, the works. Tune in. There should be a new schedule going on with the podcast. I'm going to try to do it 5 days a week, a little less structured during the week, Monday to Thursday, and Saturday will be the big show that you guys have been getting that's structured with nice pictures and all that other fun stuff. So, blabbed long enough. Go check it out. Stick around. We're having fun. So until next time, be the hell good. Stay off the King's Throne, and I'll see you where? Right here on YouTube land.